golden touch. Okay, so we are going to read the golden touch. So the title of the poem, the golden touch, somehow suggests us something related to a touch which is golden, yeah, of gold. Something is telling here in this chapter, we are going to see about gold. Yeah, something that whatever a person is going to touch, that will be converted into gold. सोना हो जाएगा वो. देखते हैं कैसे. So just a minute. The golden touch. Long ago, there lived a very rich man called Midas. Beside being rich, he was a king and had a little daughter called Marigold. King Midas loved gold more than anything else in the world. He liked being a king cheerfully because he loved his golden crown. He loved his daughter dearly too, and the more he loved her, the more gold he wanted for her sake. When King Midas saw the golden light of the sun of evening, he wished it could turn everything into real gold. When Marigold came to him with a bunch of sweet yellow flowers, he would say, if they were as gold as they look, they would be worth picking. Even the roses in the garden did not please him anymore. So what happened? So this is a story about a king and a richest king, okay, whose name was King Midas. Okay, and ये जो king थिले सी बहुत rich थिले और तांकर गोटे झियो थिला, one daughter named Marigold. Okay, usually Marigold is a flower also, okay. So and this king was very greedy. Yes or no? Greedy मतलब लोभी. Okay, so ये राजा क्या थे? बहुत लोभी थे. He was very greedy. So and for him he loved two things. One was the only one thing was the gold and the other thing was the daughter of the king. Okay, तांको दीटा जिनसे सबुठ बहुत भल पाउतले दीटा जिनसे गोटे सुना को से चाहतले मोर अधिकार अति सुना जिते सुना हे परछ मो पाखरे सेते सुना हे जानता कि जदि मो पाखरे सुना हे जीवो कोन हबो आई विल बी वेरी हैप्पी. ओके, सो सुना तांको बहुत सुना दरकार थिला. Then comes and he also has a daughter named Marigold. झियो ना कोन थिला? Marigold. तापरे कोन King Midas when in the evening, in the Sunday evening, when he used to think that everything would be of gold and the sunlight which used to fall on the on any sort of plate, that should be converted into gold. तो सब चीज क्या हो जाना चाहिए? गोल्ड गोल्ड एंड गोल्ड का हो जाना चाहिए. हर चीज सोने का हो जाना चाहिए. ओके, इवन जेते बेले तांकर झियो आनी कि तांको कोन दोउचंती, तांको झियो आनी कि जेते तांको flowers dele, yellow flowers, sweet yellow flower with scent as well. So he didn't wanted that natural scent or natural flower. He wanted what? This yellow flower could be converted into, oh God, this yellow flower should convert into gold. एटा भी काश जदि भलो होंता, जदि एटा भी कौन ही जानता? सुन्ना रे कन्वर्ट ही जानता. ओके, एटा बहुत भलो होंता. सी एमिति भाबिले. Largest and sweetest and most beautiful roses ever seen, because they were not made of gold. And although the king was very fond of music in his youth, the only music he loved now was the sound of gold coin, one against another. So you know, those sweet rose, okay, the sweetest rose, the sweet smell of rose, the beautification of rose were no more attracted. माने तांकु आउ सुनना छोड़ा किछि भी attract करू नथिला. कौन attract खाली करथिला? ता खाली सुनना भलो लागुथिला. ओके, झियो को भलो पाउतले, आउ काहा को भलो पाउतले, आउ कोन सुनना को भलो पाउतले. तो तांकु खाली कोन दरकार थिला, से जो फुलटा से जो आणी के देले ताला कलर कोन थिला? येलो थिला. से कहले एटा जदी कन्वर्ट हे जानता कोन गोल्ड रे आउली भलो होंता. I would have loved that. जदी कोन हे जानता? गोल्ड रे कन्वर्ट हे जानता. तापरे कहउचंती कि he was a fond of music. से गोटे लोक थिले, से गोटे राजा थिले जाको कोन भल लागुतला? म्यूजिक. म्यूजिक बहुत भल लागे. बट कौन हैला? बट एबे जो इन द यूथ टाइम, जब वो क्या थे, when he was a youth, when he was young, okay, युवा अवस्था जिते थे कौन भल लगुला म्यूजिक भल लगुला बट एबे सिचुएशन एमती अच्छी कि तांको म्यूजिक भल लगुच किंतु कौ साउंड भल लगुच सुना कॉइन रो साउंड भल लगुच ओके से खाली कॉइन रो साउंड को सुनिया भल पाउछंती आउ एबे आउ तांको किछि भल लागु नाही देन एट लास्ट किंग मिडास कुड नॉट बेयर टू टच एनीथिंग दैट वाज नॉट गोल्ड ही यूज्ड टू गो down to a secret room under his palace where he kept his precious store. He would let himself in and count his gold pieces. He would hold the bars of gold and admire his gold cups and plates until he could hardly bear to leave them. Now in those days a great many so eta sadha age so King Midas what he used to do he used to say that whatever I could touch that could be converted into gold jaha mu छुईबी भगवान करते जदि एमिति किछि हेई जानता तो ही हैड माने लोभ छाड़ नथिला बहुत रिच थिले से आ से तांकर गोटे कोन थिला ना ट्रेजर गोटे सीक्रेट रूम थिला ही हैड अ सीक्रेट रूम आ से सीक्रेट रूम रे से कोन करथिले रूम भितर पसि जाउथिले एंड जाइकी सेठी जते तांकर प्रॉपर्टी सुना पुना जाते ताकू से काउंट करके डेली गणुथिले सुना कप सुना प्लेट केते ग्रीडी ओके ही वाज वेरी ग्रीडी ओके देन कम्स बुझी हो जेतगा तापर नाउ इन दोस डेज अ great many wonderful things used to happen just as they do today. One morning King Midas was in his treasure room when he noticed that the sun was shining into the room more brightly than usual. Not only that, but a stranger stood there, smiling at him in the light of sunbeam. King Midas knew that he has locked himself as usual, as so he guessed that his visitor was not ordinary person. The stranger looked at the gold pieces that the king was counting. You seem to be very rich man, he said. So what happened? So सी दिने एमिति कोन हला देयर वाज अच्छा सेही सब काल रे ना जो मैजिक आउ माने ऑल सॉर्ट्स ऑफ थिंग यूज्ड टू हैपन ओके अनयूजुअल थिंग यूज्ड टू हैपन ओके एबे भी होची अनयूजुअल जिंस किंतु कोन तारो डेफिनेशन चेंज जाईची आगे सब चमत्कार एगुडा सब होतिला एबे भी चमत्कार होची किंतु केमिति होची एबे एबे चमत्कार आगर चमत्कार भीतर फरक अछि बुझे होची तापर कोन हला तापरे हाँ सो देयर वाज इसे जतले घसी घसी गणुथिले ताकर कोन स्ट्रेंज रूम रे बसी गणुथिले देयर वाज अ स्ट्रेंजर माने अजणा व्यक्ति से कोठी थिले से ताको रूम भीतर थिले गोटे जे सन रो बीम रो लाइट पास करथला से लाइट से छिडा हेकी कोन करथले ही वाज स्माइलिंग ओके से हसुथिले एबे किंग भाबिले मु तो मोर कोन करथि राजा भाबिले कोन मु तो कबाट लॉक करिछि ई लोकडा पसला केमिति भीतर पशिची जदि बंद कबाटे जदि पशि चोर तो हो पारिबनी हाँ हो पारिबो चोर किंतु सी एतिक भाबिलेनी से कोन भाबिले चमत्कार किछि हबो ही इज नॉट अ ऑर्डिनरी मैन से कोन ये जे आसीची ए गोटे साधारण व्यक्तित्व नुह ये आउ किए देखिया द स्ट्रेंजर लुक्ड एट द गोल्ड पीसेस दैट द किंग वाज काउंटिंग यू सीम्स टू बी वेरी रिच मैन ही सेड But it has taken me a long time to collect this gold, said King Midas. If I could live 1,000 years, I might have time to get richer. What? Aren't you satisfied? Asked the stranger. What else do you want? Midas thought carefully. This was a wonderful chance and he felt that the stranger had magical powers. I am trying of collecting my riches so slowly, he said. I wish everything I touch could be turned into gold. So this is a conversation between the king and the stranger. माने राजा और से अजणा व्यक्ति को भितरे कन्वर्सेशन कथावार्ता होउचंती से माने कोन कथावार्ता एबे से कहउचंती कोन हाय तमे केते रिच अछ तमे केते कोन अछ धनी केते धनी हेकी अछ तमे ओके से कोन कहले धनी मु अछि मु आउ टिके धनी हेई थांती जदी आउरी भल हंता से कहला कोन 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 तू धनी आउरी नो तते आउरी लोभ अछि ना हाँ यहाँ मुझे बहुत स्लो रे कलेक्ट करछि मुझे चाहूँ मो पाखे बहुत सारा धन आसी जाता बहुत सारा सुना आसी जाता जदि ऑल ऑफ अ सडन भल हाँ एतिक सुना मुझे कौन करी मत आहरी सुना दरकार किए कहले किंग कहले क्या कहले स्ट्रेंजर को कहले वेरी गुड सो से कहले से कहले ये कहीं कहले जिनसा किंग भाविले आ पाखे किसी मैजिकल पावर अच्छे जब मागिली काली जब मत मिलगला ओके लोभ छाड़ूनी है अति लोभ एबे देखिए कौन होबा आगे अति लोभर परिणाम तापर कौन हैला so the golden touch exclaimed the stranger are you sure you would never regret it how could I regret such a thing said Midas it would give me perfect happiness at last very well then the stranger said as he turned to go tomorrow at sunrise you will find that you have the golden touch okay the light of the sunbeam brightened so vividly that Midas closed his eyes. When he opened them again, the stranger had gone. What happened? तापर से कहले पक्का तो दरकार था ताले तू कहू गोल्डन टच दरकार था तैसे कहले yes 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 I need golden touch fine if you need golden touch I will be giving you मुझे तो golden touch दे देबी regret करिबन तो regret करिबी काई regret करिबी मु एकाळ केतेटा सोना मगे देबी regret काई करिबी I will not regret बुझी होची तो I will not regret anyhow मु काई regret करी golden touch मिल गला जा जा छुई की सुना बनेबी ना regret करी तू बसी तापर से कोन कहले हो जा tomorrow when there will be a sunrise you will get your golden touch कल सुबह के क्या सूरज के साथ आपको क्या मिलेगा golden touch माने कौन जहा जो जिनस को भी छुईबो कौन है जीवो सेटा convert into gold सुना है जीवो ओके आ एति को कहे कि कौन हैला से जो सनबीम लाइट टा बहुत जोर से आसला बहुत माने बहुत ब्राइट लाइट थिला किसी आखीटा बंद कर देला और से स्ट्रेंजर कहे गेले गायब हे गले तापरे यूनिट 2 आसिया देखिया द नेक्स्ट मॉर्निंग किंग मिडास woke before the dawn he looked eagerly to see if his bed had turned into gold माने उठू लोगो but no it was exactly as it had been before he lay very disappointed looking around his room suddenly the earliest beam of the sunrise shone through the window and up to the ceiling above it seems to reflect its golden light towards him looking at the sheet on his bed Midas was astonished to find that it had become cloth of gold the golden touch had truly come to him with the first sunbeam so next day what happened morning होउची जेम सबले दिन सकाळ हुए सकाळ हैला किंतु ये टिके सकाळ हवा पूर्व उठी गले हैला मन रे कोन अछि लोभ छाडुनी हैला उठी तो गले उठी को भाबिले को फटोटा सुनाई देथिबो ओके सो व्हेन ही वोक अप ही फाउंड दैट किछि हेनी तापरे पूरा मन दुखी करके तळे बसी पड़ले देन व्हाट हैपेंड देन अ beam of light came and beam of light asla par kon hela पाइले गोल्डन टच ओके ता परे से जोटा छुईले बेडशीट सुना बेडशीट ओके सो सब जिनस से पूरा सुना हे गला अंडरस्टूड एंड ही वाज वेरी हैप्पी ओके तम पाखर जदि टच टा आसीबो कोन करिवो लेखि दबो मते हला सो if you would have in this situation what would you be demanding the golden touch or a normal man okay then comes King Midas got out of bed in excitement he touched one of the legs of the bed as he did so and it immediately became a golden pillar he pulled the curtain at the window and at once it became golden too he put on his cloth and formed himself dressed in golden cloth he took up his spectacles and put them on and he found he could see nothing at all the glasses has turned into gold and he could not see through them he looked them off again kon hela tapare he was very excited so he started touching everything immediately se gale age pillar छुईले pillow छुईले सबु दिन से छुई को गले he tried and gold हे जाउतला तापर ताकर स्पेक्टेकल चश्मा को छुईले को हैला सुना हे गला आ देखा गलानी तापर को कहले never mind he thought to himself the golden touch is worth more than a pair of spectacles and Marigold will be able to read to me King Midas went downstairs and into the garden. He noticed that even the brass handle of the door became gold as soon as he turned it. Then he went among the rose tree that had always been in his pride and joy in the past. When he went to breakfast that morning, he felt more hungry than usual. While he was waiting for his eggs to be ready, little Marigold came in a crying bitterly. So what happened? he, he ଭାବିଲେ କ'ଣ ଏ ଛାଡ଼ ମ ଗୋଟେ ଚଷମା ଇଏ ହେଇଗଲେ କ'ଣ ହବ golden touch is more important and what I need was golden touch ଚଷମା କଥା ତ ମୋ ପାଇଁ ମ୍ୟାରିଗୋଲ୍ଡ ପଢିଦେବ କ'ଣ ପଢିବା କଥା okay he didn't took it seriously then he went downstairs ଆଉ ସେଇଠି ଗୋଟେ କ'ଣ ଥିଲା ଫୁଲ ଥିଲା ଗଛ ଥିଲା rose tree and he touched that and that also became gold. Then what happened breakfast he went for breakfast and from usual day he used to feel more hungry okay ज़्यादा भूख लग रहा था उनको usual day so he was waiting for his egg to be ready then marigold came crying okay she was crying look father she cried holding out a golden rose I went to pick you some rose and they are yellow and hard and their sweet scent is gone never mind my dear said her father they are worth much more like that sit down and eat your breakfast so she is crying why is she crying because se jetele phulo toliya ku jaitla tanga baba ku daba pai se golap phuloटा कौन हो जाए हार्ड हो जाए येलो हो जाए माने गोल्ड रे कन्वर्ट हो जाए think a small girl okay innocence is more powerful than greediness okay so she is crying because what for her the more precious is that rose not the golden rose clear so now he is telling that na tu शांति बसता सेटा को दामी के एटा ताटू अधिका तार कोन अछि प्राइस टा अधिका अछि शांति बसी कोन करे ब्रेकफास्ट करे okay then he poured himself a cup of coffee as he spoke the coffee pot was a gold one when he put it back on the table then he tried a spoonful of coffee to see if it was sweet enough but it had become liquid gold well he exclaimed he was thirsty what is the matter father asked marigold nothing child drink your milk midas said but the eggs that he tried to eat the fish the bread the butter all foods were uneatable for the king that morning so what happened so he first took the coffee pot and जेतेले रखिले ताकू से कौन हेगला सुना हेगला स्पून रु आनिले कॉफी टेस्ट करिवे कौन हेगला लिक्विड गोल्ड हेगला अंडा माछ जहा ब्रेड जहा खाया को चेष्टा करले कौन हेगला गोल्ड हेगला मैरीगोल्ड पचला व्हाट हैपेंड फादर नथिंग यू इट एबे निजो कष्टडा कहबे केमिति ओके सो तू तोर बसे कि खीर पी ओके हाउ एम I to have any breakfast he thought such costly food is before me and I can eat nothing he looked across the table at marigold she was waiting happily her tears forgotten she looked up saw that something was wrong and came around to comfort her father what is wrong father she asked midas bent down and kissed her little daughter then what a terrible change came over marigold her sweet little face turned to yellow gold her lovely hairs became golden metals her little body hardened into a figure of solid gold what had he done okay so kon hela now he was there now he is thinking that mo samne re kon achi breakfast achi how am I going to eat those breakfast okay how will I eat those breakfast well I cannot eat those breakfast because classroom I cannot eat those breakfast because all things whatever I am touching is converting into gold so habani tapare marigold saw that his father is in trouble so she went and asked what happened father and he touched his daughter and he bent and kissed on the forehead of the daughter and then झीटा सुना हेगला से सुना डाके सुना ही हेगला सतरे ओके केमिति ना तार जो चुट्टी थिला पूरा येलो हार्ड हेगला बॉडी कोन हेगला हार्ड हेगला तार जो कोन फिगर जो बॉडी रो सॉलिड हेगला and what he has done now means this is a very drastic things okay thing then comes unit 3 this story would be too sad for us all if we linger too long on the terrible side. King Midas could not bear to look at Marigold, yet he could not leave her side. He felt so sad and sorrowful that he wished he was the poorest man in the world. Okay, if only his beloved daughter could be herself again. In despair, Midas looked about him. Suddenly he saw the stranger that had visited him that day before. Well, Midas, said the stranger, how do you like having the golden touch? I have lost everything I really loved, said King Midas. I am full of sorrow and regrets. Gold is of no use to me now. So, you have learned something since yesterday, asked the stranger. Now, which is worth more, the golden touch or a cup of cold water? Oh, blessed water, exclaimed Midas. Will I ever taste it again? So, what happens now? You know, ଦେଖିବାକୁ ଗଲେ କିଙ୍ଗ ମିଦାସ ୱାଜ ଦ ମୋଷ୍ଟ ରିଚିଏଷ୍ଟ ମ୍ୟାନ୍ ରିଚେଷ୍ଟ ଥିଲେ ନା ଏବେ ତାଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ ସବୁ ଜିନିଷ ଥିଲା ସୁନା ଥିଲା ପଇସା ଥିଲା ସବୁ ଥିଲା କିନ୍ତୁ କ'ଣ ନଥିଲା କିନ୍ତୁ ତଥାପି ସେ ଗରିବ ଥିଲେ he has lost everything ନା ଖାଇବା ଏତେ ପଇସା ରଖିକି ବି କ'ଣ ହବ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମେ ମାନେ ଶାନ୍ତିରେ ଖାଇପାରିବାନି ନିଜ ଲୋକଙ୍କ ସହିତ ରହିପାରିବାନି yes or no so normal life is good casual life is good understood so he told what now the same stranger came and stranger told, oh, how are you enjoying the golden touch? कौन खबर बाबू enjoy करछो golden touch? तापर कौन कहले? No, I am the most poorest man. मु सबुठु गरीब ओके एंड सबुठु मेन जिनस मते किछि दरकार नै मते कोन दरकार मो झियो दरकार एबे से तापर कोन कहले yesterday ठु आज किछि लेसन सिखिछ ताले ना हां मु सिखिछि अच्छा मते कुओ water is good or cup or a gold is good कौन कहले से कहले पानी भलो मते आ कौन दरकार नहीं गोल्डन टच दरकार नहीं मते पानी दरकार तापरे द गोल्डन टच और अ पीस ऑफ ब्रेड सेड द स्ट्रेंजर a piece of bread answer Midas it's worth than a gold on the earth gold or your own little daughter asked the stranger oh my child cried poor Midas I would have given one hair of her head for the power to change the whole earth into gold. The stranger looked seriously at Midas. You are wiser than you were, he said. Your heart is still flesh and blood. You know truly that common things of life, which are within everyone's reach, are more valuable than riches. Tell me, do you want to keep the golden touch? So now he's asking piece of bread, na golden touch, na bread. Piece of bread is now good. तोर निज झील ना गोल्डन टच ना मत कि दरकार नहीं मत मो झील दियो मु मोर सब सुना देदेवी मत खाली कौन दे दियो मत मो झील को दियो तू बहुत स्मार्ट हो जाइए काली अपेक्षा आज यू आर मोर स्मार्ट हु सेड द स्ट्रेंजर तापर कहला नो 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 आई वांट माय डॉटर एबे से कौन कहूँ आउ दरकार गोल्डन टच कौन कहे आंसर नो 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 इट इज हेटफुल फॉर मी नाउ सेड मिडास पैशनेटली अ फ्लाई सेटल्ड on the king's nose and immediately fell to found a small scrap of gold. Midas shuddered. So what happened? A fly. He told no 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 मुझे और नहीं चाहिए gold. तो क्या वो उस समय आके मक्खी कहाँ बैठी उनके नाक पे और गिर गई नीचे क्या बन के एक point of gold. Okay. Then go down to the end of your garden, said the stranger. Wash yourself in the water of the river. Then bring some of the water and sprinkle it over anything that you wish to change back again. If you do this truly and sincerely, you can set right again the result of your greed of gold. King Midas bowed his head. When he looked up again, the stranger had vanished. Bowed his head माने मुंड नोईकी सुनिला जहाँ कहले से कौन कहले से कहले गोटे काम करे ताल तू जा कोठी जा ना तोर गार्डन लास्ट गोटे पये अच्छी रिवर अच्छी सेठी पूरा कौन वॉश योरसेल्फ इन द रिवर एंड ब्रिंग वाटर जिसको भी नॉर्मल जहाँ भी करिया चाहूँ तापर कौन कर पानी छिंची दे छिंचला पर कौन हो सब जिन नॉर्मल किंतु प्योर हार्ट रु कर जिनसा ताहले ही हम कौन रिजल्ट मिल से पूरा कौन सब जिनटा मुंड नोईकी शुणिला मुंड उपर कला बेल को वैनिश The stranger is vanished. माने नथिले से इटी गायब हो गले. The king ran at once to river without waiting to take off his cloth. He dived in. The coolness of the water, he felt at once that a weight had been lifted from her body, her heart and body. He came out of the river. He was free of golden touch. He put out his hand and touched a wild rose on the river's bank, and he found with thankfulness that it remained the same sweet flower. Taking up a little water pot, he quickly filled it with river water and took it back to the palace. I expect the servant thought it is very strange to see their royal master carrying water pot, but the water was more precious to Midas than an ocean of gold. So what happened? So बिना कुछ सोचे समझे वो what he did? He ran to the river. अब ड्रेस मैंने तार पत्तर न खोलिकी भी से कौन कले डायरेक्ट नहीं पड़ले कौन रे रिवर रे धुआ धुई होके आसला पर पानी नहीं के आसले बागे गोलाप फूल छिंचिले सब जिनस कले आ पानीटा नहीं कि कोड गले पैलेस को गले तांकर सर्वेंट भी देखिले ये कौन आज पानी गेट नहीं जाउची रिवर रे ओके आश्चर्य लागिथिबो किंतु एबे कौन तांको पाई मोर प्रेशियस द वाटर इज मोर प्रेशियस देन गोल्ड. The king went straight to the golden figure of little Marigold. As he sprinkled the water on her, the rose color came back to her cheeks. She began to sneeze and shake the water from her golden hair. Oh, father, see how wet I am, and my dress was clean this morning, she said. Marigold did not know what had happened to her, and her father did not tell her how wrong and foolish she had been. He took her out in the garden where they watered the flower together and picked a bunch of sweetly scented roses. So कौन कहले पानी आणले छिंचिले का ऊपर मैरीगोल्ड एंड मैरीगोल्ड when she came back into the world she knew nothing. ये भी किछि कहलेनी से भी किछि कहलेनी का तो सी जानी नथिले तापरे माने दियण गले गछरे पानी देले and this story gives you a moral that अति लोभी हैरान हबो. Okay, so greedy, when you should not be greedy. Okay, don't whatever you have with yourself keep that till limit. Okay, and if you are thinking कि तमे कोठू सडनली कोटी कोटी टंका आसी जिबा सडनली सब जिंस पाइबो एमिति हुएनी स्ट्रगल करथिबा धन माने कष्ट रे अर्जित धन केबे भी तुमको छाड़ी की जीवनी किंतु शॉर्टकट रे पाइथिबा जिंस संगे संगे कोन हे जीवो नष्ट हे जीवो को ना को बाटे रे हे जीवो. With this, the chapter comes to an end. Okay. बुझिएला.